I hate to say it, but every single person here in the United States is about to feel the pain. Eventually, you will pay. Now, I want to explain what's going on, why millions and millions of people are going to feel the pain very soon, but what is coming, why all this is happening right now, especially after we learned that President-elect Donald Trump will be taking office on January 20th, 2025. This should be good news, right? This should mean that we are going to see the economy rebound and things will be going great. Well, I want to explain what's happening because, again, there's two sides to this and you need to be on the right side. So I'll explain everything in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So what exactly is going on and why are millions of Americans about to pay? Well, it's simple. Look at this right here. It says Walmart just leveled with Americans. China won't be paying for Trump's tariffs. In all likelihood, you will. What does this mean? Well, here's what we know. The tariffs that President-elect Donald Trump is about to put in place, these are inflationary. These are going to increase the cost of everyday goods. Now, certain businesses will be somewhat exempt to this because they're not purchasing products from overseas. They're not importing anything. And another thing, we are going to see businesses here inside the United States that are making U.S. made products, sourcing all the inventory here inside the U.S. within our borders. They're going to thrive. Now, I want to show you this because here's a business that is going to thrive and a business that I absolutely love. TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx says it will thrive on Trump's tariff chaos. But why? It's simple. TJ Maxx buys, last season products. They buy liquidation items from other stores. That's how they get their inventory. They are not importing items from China or from Europe or anywhere like that. They're getting their products right here from the United States, which companies have already paid for. These are items that they paid for and maybe paid tariffs on these products. So TJ Maxx is one of those stores that is going to kind of be exempt from this because the stores have already purchased the products, already paid for the tariffs. And now them, as the last purchaser, they're going to be paying the least price, the smallest. Okay? That's good news. But here's the problem. Again, this is why millions of Americans are about to pay. Because we keep putting everything on credit cards. Look at this right here. It says credit card debt surges to another record high according to the New York Fed. We heard from the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, just a week or two ago, and it was pretty clear that we are going to see prices continue to increase. The Fed is likely to keep interest rates where they're at, which means your credit card bills aren't going to get any cheaper. Right? Your mortgages, if you get a new mortgage, it's not going to get any cheaper. In some cases, actually going up. You want to buy a new car? Well, guess what? You're still going to pay a decent percentage for that car. Now, with that said, credit card issuers are now starting to cancel certain credit cards. And I talked to somebody just the other day. They have a Capital One card. Their card, which they use for business, which is odd, they're using a Capital One card for it, but they're using a Capital One card for their business. And I think they got like a $20,000 credit limit. Here's the problem. Their whole credit limit was pretty much slashed. They went from $25,000 down to like 15 or 12 to 15,000. Then they went down right underneath 10,000. And then the last email that I received, it went to 0. They cannot charge on that card again. They are done. That is how they ran their entire business. And Capital One said, nope, no more. We're done. We're not going to lend you any more money. So their business is pretty much done. But look at this one right here. It says Trump's tariffs could raise the cost of generic drugs in the U.S. It says generic drugs make up the majority of prescriptions filled in the U.S. What you need to keep in mind is that we are going to see the cost of everyday goods go up. Keep in mind that Donald Trump wants to propose, or he has proposed, a blanket tariff of 20% on all imports. But it would be 60% on imports from China. China That's where we get the majority of our the ingredients that we use to make certain medication. It's from China. So if China is the one and the reason why we are having to pay more for these medications, that's a problem. The good news is there are some companies out there that are trying to manufacture all this stuff here in the United States. And because of that, because of manufacturing here, it's bringing costs down. Let's think about Amazon, for example. Amazon, you can actually go and get an Amazon, I think it's Prescription by Amazon or Amazon Scribe, or I don't remember the exact name, but you can go and order your prescriptions off Amazon. You pay a very small fee. It's really nothing. You're going to save like 80% by buying through Amazon, get it delivered directly to your door, then going to a local pharmacy and buying through them. Yeah, it's because Amazon is big. Amazon is taking this over. Think of companies like Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS. They're closing down doors, not just by the one here, one there, by the dozens, by the hundreds. Stores are shutting down. Now, I want to show you something else. Because again, like I'm telling you, the American people are going to pay. And we're going to pay for multiple reasons. One, because credit card interest is still too high. Two, because we are seeing tariffs potentially coming in at a very difficult time. But according to the Trump administration, we have to include these tariffs so that we can then go and provide tax breaks to individuals for, we eliminate tips, income tax on tips. We eliminate income tax on overtime pay. We eliminate taxes on income from Social Security benefits, right? Big things. But also, according to reports just recently, on the table, we are still talking about a child tax credit. We're still talking about where families could potentially get a larger deduction, right, for having kids, for having younger kids, sending them to school, what have you. But again, all this stuff is in question. Now, here's a big one. And I want to show you this because what we are about to see is potentially tens of thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of federal employees lose their job. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they are laying out plans for a mass federal layoff, okay, because of what President-elect Donald Trump wants to do. He says there's too much waste where thousands of people are going to be let go. And when thousands of people are let go, or let's say tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people are let go from a federal job, they're going to go look for something else. But in the meantime, can they pay for their car payment? Can they pay for their mortgage or their rent? Can they pay for their utilities? If not, guess what? It's going to come on you. Not necessarily that you have to pay for their car or you have to pay for their mortgage, but what do you think is going to happen when you are a couple days late for your car payment? You think the bank's going to be like, oh, well, we got this guy who he hasn't have a job in 4 months, and we know that, well, we're trying to get his money, but we've been relying on you to make your payments. Now we're coming after you. So instead of banks waiting potentially 2-3 months before they start calling and saying, hey, you're behind on your loan, I need you to make a payment today before we come to collect. Well, guess what? Now instead of waiting 2 to 3 months, they're going to wait 2 weeks, maybe a month that you're late. Hey, I need you to make a payment. Okay, you need to come in. We need you to make a payment. That's what's going to happen. And guess what? You're going to pay. You will eventually pay. Now, I have some good news though. If you like to eat at McDonald's, guess what? McDonald's is going to add a McValue menu and try to boost their meal deal offerings. And a lot of people were saying that, they would never eat at McDonald's. They'd never eat at Jack in the Box, never eat at Wendy's, right? Not going to any of those places. Guess what? Jack in the Box has I think they call it like the bonus Jack or something, but it's $3.99. It's a burger with one patty, cheese. I don't think they have bacon or anything on it. Nothing too special. But then you get a small fry and a small drink for $3.99. Where could you go and buy a meal for $3.99? Now, if you said McDonald's, you're wrong. You're not going to get that McDonald's. You said Wendy's, you're wrong. Wendy's doesn't have a 4 for $4 anymore. Now they have the Biggie bag or something. Now, could you go to a place like Burger King where you can get a kid's meal for like $2.49 or $2.97 or whatever it is, yeah, you could, but that's a kid's meal. Think about it. This is good news that now McDonald's, okay, we're seeing Wendy's, we're seeing Burger King, okay, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, all trying to change their pricing to give you a little bit of a discount. You know why? It's because people are struggling. Not because the businesses feel like they need to give you a discount. It's because they know if they don't, you will not come in. Because people are maxing out credit cards as we speak just to live. So again, you will eventually pay, and every single American will soon feel the pain of this economy. But we'll see what happens moving forward. The one thing that I can tell you is I will be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.